Hey everybody, it's Jay Ball coming at you with a really exciting episode of the 2021 Blue Jays Maple Syrup season. That's right, today we're bottling. So we're actually bottling batches 3, 4, and 5. At least we're going to try to get that many done. But let me walk you through my whole setup and my process and how I'm going about bottling all the syrup. I do follow the same guidelines as the larger producers dealing with, food grade sealing and all that kind of stuff. So let me walk you through my entire process and let's get to bottling some of this Blue Jays Maple Syrup. The first place we'll start is you guys can see I've got the stock pot here full of syrup. So this is all from batch 3. And batch 3 actually is this batch right here. So you can see this is why I'm bottling these 3 together, as they all look the same. And I'll talk about the grading system here in just a minute. So what I do is I'm going to heat this up to about 180, 190 degrees. It's right at syrup now. I've been checking the gravity constantly depending on the temperature. And this batch was a little heavy, so I had to add some distilled water to it, but no big deal. So what I do is once this gets to temperature and I can verify the gravity, I'll then pour it into this big stock pot here where I've got my 1 paper filter that is pre-moistened. And then once it sits in there for a minute, I'll start bottling it. So I'll start filling it up with the spigots, and then I will put caps on everything, and I'll lay the bottles on their side. And what that does is it actually seals the bottle. And what I'll do is I'll actually give it like a quarter turn before I put it in this cold water bath. Let it sit in the cold water bath for a while. And then what I'll do is I'll stack them up here, dry them, and rinse and repeat. So that's that's the gist of it. You can see that I've got batches 4 and batches 5 here. So there's quite a bit of syrup that we've got. We've got 9 total batches. This is my rinse tote, or my rinse bucket that I told you guys about. So you can see there's already quite a bit of syrupy looking water in there. So let me talk about the grading real quick, and then we'll get right into bottling the very first batch of Blue Jays Maple Syrup. Lighting's not really good anywhere, but anyway, so this is the grading scale that I use. So you can see we've got these 3 different grades. We've got Golden Delicate, Amber Rich, and Dark Robust. I know this is the 2019 grading scale, but I keep these out of the sunlight, so the grading is still pretty good. So you can actually see the color difference between Golden Delicate, Amber Rich, and the Dark Robust. And this is the first batch from batch 3. So you can actually see that it's darker than Golden Delicate, but not as dark as the Amber Rich. So technically this is Amber Rich. So what I'm doing, is if you compare batch 3, batch 4, and batch 5, which I'll show you. So this is batch 3, batch 4, batch 5. They all look the same, okay? Still lighter than Amber Rich, or sorry, that's Dark Robust. So still lighter than Amber Rich, which is this one here, but they are darker than Golden Delicate. So that's why I'm bottling these 3 batches together, and I try to do that. I try to bottle my Golden Delicate together, my Amber Rich, and Dark Robust. So that's how I grade these with this grading scale. Now, just a few other housekeeping things. So what I've also done with these bottles is I'll put them all through the dishwasher on a really hot cycle, no soap or anything, just to get them nice and disinfected. And then what I'll do is I'll fill this pot full of really super hot water. I'm right above the water heater, so the water's like 180 degrees, 165 degrees-ish. And that way everything's all sanitized. I've wiped everything down with bleach so everything's good and clean. And like I said, we're still waiting on the syrup to get up to temperature. We're at 125 degrees, slowly but surely. This is gonna be heavy. So syrup weighs 11 pounds per gallon, and there's almost 8 gallons in there. So yeah, that thing's gonna be pretty heavy to pour in there. I probably bit off a little bit more than I can chew, but oh well. So let's get this thing warmed up and let's get the first bottle or first batch in the bottles. Really close to temperature, and actually I think I put a little bit too much distilled water in. If you look, it should be just right about 59 bricks, and we're at 55, 56, 57. So that red line needs to be shown at 209 degrees, and we're at 203. So I added a little bit too much distilled water, but no big deal. I'm just going to keep it at this 209 degrees once it gets there, and just let this kind of slowly evaporate off and get to the right gravity. So the gravity that I'm measuring to is the Vermont standard, and the reason why we do that is a couple things. Is one, this is from my understanding, if you have it too heavy, you get sugar crystals that can build up and they form in the bottom of the bottle, which isn't a bad thing. Too light, and you can actually get bacteria to grow on the top, and really you want that 59 Brix at 209 or 211 degrees, because when it's cold, it's around 65 Brix and it spreads across a pancake really well. But when you refrigerate it, then it thickens up. So that's why we keep it at the gravity where we keep it. So I'm just going to keep watching this, and then what I'm going to do is once it gets to temperature and I get to the right gravity reading, I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to put another batch in and get it warming up, and then start bottling, and then show you what's all going on. As you can see, I've already got a few bottles already setting. So like you've been seeing, I've been doing about every 3 bottles. I'll put the caps on, lay them down, and then put the hot bottles in the cold bath. Unfortunately, my thermometer battery is low and it was full of maple syrup. So I think this is the only batch of syrup I'm going to be able to bottle tonight, because I need to get the thermometer. I was able to get the right gravity, but yeah, this is, I'm going to have to maybe just hold off until tomorrow until I get a battery for the thermometer. So, word of the wise, make sure you've got backup batteries. Let's finish bottling this stuff. First batch of syrup all bottled up and labeled. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Not bad. There we go, the last batch of Golden Delicate bottled up. Got quite a bit, I think just got over 5 3/4 gallons, so let's get everything dried off and let's wrap this video up. I just want to give you guys an idea what happened and what's going on and why this was kind of sporadic. You've just got to admire how pretty and clear that is. Look at that, you can see right through that. No filter press, gravity filtered. Man, that stuff is beautiful. Look at that. Same batch, see what the difference in thickness in bottles? It kind of makes it look darker in the Blue Jay bottle, but this is the exact same batch, so it shows you just how the thickness of the syrup changes the color. Well, as you can see, I've got a pretty good stockpile. So this is all the Amber Rich. Those are all the pints. Those are the quarts. I've got some more over there I need to finish labeling, but I haven't got the Golden Delicate down here yet. I'm going to move all this stuff from last year, kind of keep that as my private stash. But, you know, I do apologize. I wanted to show more of this bottling process, but the last week and a half work has just been crazy. We had family over for Easter. It was just kind of chaotic. I had to bottle when I had a chance in between work and family. So, you know, it was pretty cool. We did end up getting, I think it was 29.14 gallons of syrup, which is the most syrup I've ever made. We did get, I think, 1,100, just over 1,100 gallons of sap. Sap to syrup ratio was like 38 gallons. What I'll do is I'll make a video, kind of go over all the specifics, talk about how much time the RO saved me for boiling. And yeah, just kind of do a wrap up on the season. We still got to take down the sugar shack and clean the pan. Haven't looked at the pan since you guys last saw it, so the sap is probably kind of moldy, probably kind of vinegary now, but that's the whole point. But I did find out that I did like drawing the syrup off a little bit heavier, because I did have to add some distilled water back to some of the batches. But what really helped with that is I was able to watch the temperature and get it between 100 and I think 85 and 190 is where I typically bottle. But once you start to get to 193 degrees, you start to make sugar sand or niter. Well, by pulling the syrup off a little bit heavy and having to add back distilled water to get to the right gravity, depending on the temperature, I actually was able to filter quicker and bottle more batches and combine more batches together. So I actually only had to filter and bottle, I think, 5 times this season. So I learned a lot this season. That's the cool thing about maple syrup, is you're always learning something new. So I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. For daily updates, follow me on Instagram. That's blue_j_maple_syrup. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And stay tuned because there's still some more episodes coming. Thanks, and remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is by showing gratitude. We'll catch you next time.